Werewolf the Forsaken. Yeah, where shall I start? I was going to show you these books again. Right. Did I show you the pictures in Werewolf Dark Ages? Just show you each. Oh yeah, I think I did. Changeling the Lost. That's what I wanted to show you. Vampire the Masquerade. I think it's second or third edition. Second edition it is. I want to get my hands on the first edition. It's it's got the really good artwork in it. But they're basically all the same. Each edition is slightly tweaked rules. No one holds command over me. I'll just read it from the start. A storytelling game. A storytelling game of personal horror. No one holds command over me, no man, no god, no prince. What is a claim of age for ones who are mortal? What is a claim of power for ones who defy death? Call your damnable hunt. We shall see who I drag screaming to hell with me. Gunter Dawn. Das Ungeheuer. Darn. I don't know what that means. The rose. The rules for this game are really quite brilliant. It's just very well put together. I'll just read this attention. Reader, discretion is advised. The themes and issues described in this game may be disturbing to some and distasteful to others. Though one purpose is not to offend, our use of the vampire as a metaphor and as a channel for storytelling may be misconstrued. To be clear, vampires are not real, and the extent to which they may be said to exist is revealed only in what they can teach us of the human condition and of the frailty and splendor which we call life. Of the the original artwork, it's just it's like a photo. Well, it's like they were looking at a photo and he just drew it from that. That's the artwork that made it famous. But the artwork that I like in the first edition is different. They explained they basically have the picture of the people living in Babylonian times that where I guess that the first vampire clans started to emerge, I guess. And apparently vampires in this game. Do you remember the story of Adam and Eve from the Bible? They had two sons, Cain and Abel. I think there was also a son called, another sibling called Seth. And there's also Lilith, who was supposed to be Adam's first wife. Of course, Eve was taken from the rib of Adam. Adam's spare rib. To me, that sounds a lot like something to do with cloning. That's the only way I could figure it out. Maybe God was a cloner, some sort of alien. This is just speculation. Anyway, nothing to do with vampire, but the same story of Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel. You know what happened with Cain and Abel? For some reason, Cain murdered Abel over some dispute, I guess. And he was punished by God. He was the very first murderer. That was the very first murder. And I'll just give you the basics. Because what he did, he was cursed to immortality forever, and marked and given a special mark to bear. I think something like that. He was marked by God. Imagine that. God, and in these rules here, they've actually twisted that story around. Well, they've actually altered it to fit the vampire mythology, that he's actually Cain became the very first vampire. So imagine that. God created the very first vampire when he punished Cain. Amazing. I just thought that was an amazing whatever. Like, to me, that was the most clever of I just thought it was a very clever way of explaining vampirism and how it all started in this fictitious sense, in the universe of the world of darkness. It started that far back, and he was cursed to immortality, like all vampires are, immortal. And I guess part of the curse was well, you could Google this, Google the vampire, the Masquerade wiki, and look up Cain and just read about it yourself. They have more details about how it works, and it seems even more clever than I first realized. I think he refused help from 3 of the angels of God, and that in turn he was cursed even further with not being able to not being able to be exposed to sunlight. Like, and vampires in this game, not only can they not walk in sunlight, they actually fear the sun. They fear the sunrise. Um, it's, yeah, it's, they're scared to death of it. Well, scared to the final death of it, and will retreat back to their haven, where their coffins, where they keep their coffins. Um, and the second angel, I think, I'm not sure. I forget the exact. I could look it up. Um, Vampire, the mass. Just getting there. Is there a search function here where I can look up? Kane. Oh, what's that? It's a song about Kane. Jeez. Damn, I can't. God, I hate Bing. I need Google. God, this is terrible at finding stuff. Vampire, the. Here it is. I'll just read about it. The bulk of Kane's history is covered in the Book of Nod. The Book of Nod is the vampire's Bible, by the way. I actually have a copy of it. It's just filled with poems. It's not actually a legitimate holy book. It's just based on the game. But it's a hardback. I think I'll see if I can find it. Here it is, the Book of Nod. Um, I got this with the game Vampire the Masquerade Redemption or something like that. It was the first video computer game based on the role-playing game of the same name. It wasn't that good though. It's about I think it was about a Brujar vampire. The Brujar vampires. It was a knight during the late Middle Ages who was shot and mortally wounded, and the only way they could save him is by embracing him into the vampire community in France, Prague, near Prague, I think it was. I think he was embraced by some female Bruja. I won't go into the story. I don't know it off by heart properly, but after that he goes on a few missions, and he gets slowly drawn into the inner workings of the Camarilla, which is the I think it's all the vampire all the vampire clans, minus the Sabbath, who are they're kind of like the vampires that break the rules. I'll explain more about that later. The game, I never finished the game. I didn't get that far. I think it was a Bruja. See, the Bruja started out as philosophers, and now the Bruja are just they're kind of like the rebellious gangs. They're kind of like gangsters, I guess. In modern days, they're basically they form into yeah, they're known for being violent and fighting and stuff like that. But in medieval times, they were more like philosophers, I guess. It's hard to understand. Even I can't truly fathom it out. Anyway, this is the Book of Nod. I'll just read about it. Legends of the Undead. The first vampires remember their first nights, but do not speak of them. Others have heard tales, but know better than to believe them. The wise speak of the Book of Nod, but none have seen this fabled book of ancient lore. These are their tales. Their stories begin with the Chronicle of Cain and the earliest nights of the vampire. The Chronicle of the Shadow reveals Cain's hidden teachings. Finally, the Chronicles of Secrets unveils the deepest mysteries of the damned, including the coming of Dread Ganhana. Ganhana is actually apocalypse for vampires. I think they just disappeared when that happened. They just didn't stop existing, or maybe they were moved, teleported somewhere else. I'm not too sure. I've actually got the Book of Ganhana, but maybe that will be for some other time. It's a bit of a spoiler having that book. It's like basically the end of times for vampires. Bloody bad. It's a picture of it's just filled with poetry. A brief word on the Chronicle of Cain. How do you use the Book of God? Yeah, they say it's not actually to be used as a real book, but it's more like a prop to use when laughing. This may also use it as a seed that gains with authentic culture, the culture of the antediluvians, which filters down from Cain himself. The antediluvians were the very first vampires that Cain embraced. as his followers. Want to make an elder seem ancient and ultra-conservative? Have him quote from the Chronicle of Shadows. Want to give players a sense that they are close to the antediluvians? Have them find a tablet with a fragment of the Chronicle of Cain on it. Want to scare them with threats of Gehenna? Have a Malklavian quote the Chronicle of Secrets to them. A Malklavian's one of the Camarilla, one of the Camarilla clans of vampires. They're known to be lunatics, insane. Many that are embraced are usually locked up inside mental institutions, I guess. Or clowns, I don't know, whatever. I never bothered reading this. It looks very interesting. I just thought it was poems, but apparently there's it looks like there's some serious documentation here with pictures. I love pictures. They talk about everything in here. Please excuse my dad's watching television in the background. Hope it doesn't spoil my video. Proverbs. It's like a miniature version of the Christian Bible for vampires. But it's not legitimate. It's not to be taken seriously. Wow, I might read up on this a bit. I've got too much to read. Yeah, vampires are also called Cainites. You know where that comes from? Yeah, werewolves are called moon beasts. That's how what vampires might sometimes refer to them as. What's the very first city? Cain's children, Enoch, Zillah. Methuselah. That's another vampire clan. They're very old. Just like the Methuselah. I think that's what it means. Very old. Cain. Oh, here's it. Here's something interesting. Rumors about Cain. Rumors involving Cain pop up regularly. Anyone who takes him seriously is a fool or a Malklavian. Hurrah, insane. If Cain did return, we could all just close the coffin and turn off the lights because they would begin the end game. That would begin the end game. Still, different vampires have their own reasons for crime. Cain. For instance, when a couple of South African Nosferatu are vampires that live in the sewers and feed on rats. They're very ugly. They're known to be grotesque, just like the original vampire, Nosferatu.